With this session update, I'm Shannon Lurkey. Senate Education Chairs Mary Kunesh and Steve Cwodzinski spoke to the media about some of their key legislative priorities for this legislative session. Here's that media event.
Well, good morning. Thank you all for being here this morning. I'm Senator Mary Kunish. I'm the chair of Education Finance here in the Senate. I'm also a retired teacher of 25 years, so this information about education is just really on par with the work that I have done for those last 25 years. We have heard, both when we were outdoor knocking and in so many different instances, the need to invest in education in this state for really a long time. And I can think back to when maybe we were funding schools at an adequate rate. We have been kind of suffering in our schools for a lot of different reasons. And one of those are the lack of funding for special ed, for our EL students, our English learner students. We have had to remove programs throughout our schools, let go of school library media specialists, cut down on field trips. All of these things are have had a lasting effect on our schools as we have seen them today. Last week we had an incredible experience in our Finance Committee where we invited over 32 students. Well, we invited students, and over 32 of them asked to share a 4-minute spiel about what they were concerned about within their school district. Some of them had really great things to share. We had what was her name? Alexis Penne, who wants more field trips, a little third grader. We had Abraham Zamet, who not only told us that they needed more help with transportation as a special ed kid, but he also advocated for his friend Milo, who wasn't able to participate in the best way during COVID. And so now we have an opportunity to do that. We have an opportunity to make a difference and go back, look at what hasn't been working and what we think is going to work to help Minnesota kids and our families and our communities. One of the exciting things that I had an inspiration for over the summer was to use some of that surplus dollars to backfill the cross subsidies, both in EL and special ed, and then to also look at how we can assist in transportation costs, because especially in greater Minnesota, those transportation costs are just exorbitant and cripple our schools and their general fund. And then we want to make sure that our kids leave school with a full tummy. Oftentimes they don't come to school with a full tummy, and so we are hoping that with the bill SF8, we will be putting money into those food nutrition programs. We will be filling in some of those transportation costs. And actually, if this bill were to go through, it would totally eliminate the cross subsidy for special ed, for English learners. And the reason I think this is an important bill is because we know that all of these different programs are just draining the general funds for our schools. That means that there is not money for field trips. There aren't enough dollars to hire more paras or teaching assistants. All of those resources that really make a school joyful are on the docket. And so with SF8, we're hoping that it will make a difference for our schools going ahead. And as we go through this next session, we will be looking at more ways that we can fully fund our schools in the best way that we can in this moment. We know that it's not going to happen in 1 year. We've got 4 years here, so we'll have to think like teachers, have a little scope and sequence, and look at where we want to be in 4 years and how we make those steps happen. So thank you very much for being here. And my co-partner in this endeavor, Senator Cwodzinski, would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Senator Kunish. You know what my hope and dream is as chair of the policy committee this year is that we pass. If COVID taught us one thing, sincerely. If COVID's taught us one thing, and if you talk to teachers and you talk to students, and I want to applaud Senator Kunish last week, what she did, we heard more students testify last Wednesday, than I heard in my 6 years combined in Education Committee. We heard more kids in one day than we did in 6 years. And that's because we care what kids are thinking. And what they gave us an earful last week, and that's to be certain. And one thing that they talked about is, like I said, if COVID taught us anything, it's that we've lost touch with the holistic child. And if my tenure as chair of the policy committee, I want people from Seattle and St. Augustine and Santa Fe in this great nation, when looking and they're starting young families and they're looking at states they're thinking about moving to. Let's let them look at Minnesota. Let's let Minnesota be that state that, oh my God, they educate their kids and they passionately educate them and they develop a holistic experience in their schools. And that's what my belief is as chair of the Education Policy Committee. Article 13 of the Minnesota State Constitution begins with the words, a Republican form of government. I taught American government for 33 years. 12,000 kids heard me say this constantly. A Republican form of government, dependent upon the intelligence of the people. It is the duty of us to create a general and uniform system of public schools. And that's what we hope to do. And getting back to the holistic child, not just their academic needs, but their social needs, which we heard an earful from last week. The kids were hurting during COVID, that their social needs were not being met. And then their emotional needs. Oh my God, we're 46th, 47th, 48th in the nation in student-to-counselor ratios. And we pride ourselves in being an education state. We're letting our kids down, and we need to fund counselors to meet their emotional needs. And lastly, their physical needs haven't been met in recent years. And with that said, I'll be introducing next week, tomorrow, we're hearing two bills, one on menstrual equity, to meet the physical needs of 50% of our population, and Senator Gustafson will be introducing a bill to meet 100% of our students' needs. And so with that said, Senator Gustafson.
Hi, I'm Heather Gustafson. I represent SD 36. I'm a public high school history teacher, and I am also the vice chair of Education Finance. So as a mom of four, I know both sides of this story. I know exactly what it's like to have to empty my bank account to fill my student or my kids' school lunch funds. I also know what it's like to be a teacher and have students come into my classroom not just asking for food because they're hungry, but asking for food for their siblings, for the weekend, because they know that I'm someone that they can trust to ask those questions for. We know also a little bit of what it was like to have those universal meals, right? We know what it was like to have students not worry about where breakfast was coming from or where lunch was coming from. And it turned out that students thrived under those conditions. It also has a big part to play in their mental health. So it isn't just fuel for their body, but it also helps with making sure that they're coming to class in a way that is able for them to learn in the best way that they can. I am proud to support and be the chief author of SF 123, which will provide universal lunches and breakfast for students in public schools. This is a problem we can solve. We've been hearing from school districts across the state that the student lunch debt is getting out of hand. We can't sleep on this problem anymore. The DFL came here to solve problems. This is a problem we can solve, and we're going to prioritize students and schools and families. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Senator Bonnie Westland. I represent Senate District 42, which includes Plymouth, Medicine Lake, and a small portion of Maple Grove. I am so proud to serve with all of these people, and especially proud to serve with an incredible freshman class of senators who are here to work for the people of Minnesota, and in particular to work for our students and our families. I would like to say also that I am the parent of two adult children, one of whom had an IEP throughout his education. Because he had access to special education services, he became the best version of himself that he could be. He succeeded in school, and he is succeeding as an adult because of that. We have heard from parents and administrators and school officials and teachers that we need to fully fund special education, and I am deeply proud to be the chief author of SF-28, which will fully fund special education. It is about time that we do this for our students, and I am determined to get this over the finish line. Our students need our help. As Senator Cwodzinski said, we heard from our kids last week. They spoke passionately and intelligently about what they want in their education, and more than anything, we should be creating a generation of curious, lifelong learners. We should be giving them the tools that they need to succeed throughout their lifetime, and that is what we are here to do. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Claire Loubet. I am honored to be carrying Senate File 21, the English Language Learner Cross Subsidy. I just want to say this is what happens when you put educators in office. We get this done to support our schools, fully fund our schools, and I come to this work first and foremost as the proud daughter of an educator. My dad, Hans Verbaten, taught at Minneapolis Public Schools for nearly 30 years. I'm also the proud daughter of a Senegalese immigrant. My mom, Rama Verbaten, came here and was an English learner herself. The district that I represent, 66, covers St. Paul Public Schools and Roseville Area Public Schools, where we have hundreds of languages that our students come into the schools with. We need to provide excellent service to them, and this bill is going to allow us to do that.
All right. So that concludes our statements. If any of you have questions, we're available for questions.
Is this a record amount of teachers, moms, that have ever been at a Senate education press conference?
I think it is. I mean, it's pretty fabulous when you look at, between the House and the Senate, the chairs, out of the 4 chairs, 3 of us are educators. And when we look at our Education Finance Committee, we also have probably a record number of teachers on both sides of the aisle there serving. So the perspectives are going to be very interesting as we go forward, but I, for one, look forward to that.
And the other part of that, no offense, Senator Cwodzinski, but the number of women, too, that are making education policy, this seems to be the first time that's happened.
Yeah, the women that have been chosen to serve on this all come with really strong backgrounds in education and are extremely passionate about getting the work done.
Do you have a sense as to how much these pillars, how much they'll all collectively cost, and how much overlap do you expect between your proposal and what the governor is likely to put out today? I'm sure you've been briefed on that.
Sure. So my bill, SF-8, is probably going to cost around $500 million. But when you look at what we have as a surplus and what we have available to us, that really isn't, it's more or less a drop in the bucket. When we can eliminate the cross-subsidy in one of our areas, when we can back pay on food, nutrition, and transportation, this is something that we can bring to the schools in this moment, and they'll know that they'll have relief that they can use as a base looking forward to next year. Imagine if they don't have to pink slip a whole bunch of teachers. What a way to retain your teachers if you don't have to let them go. So your second part of the question, and how does it align with the governor's?
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have been briefed to some degree as to what he's going to put out today. How much overlap is there between what you're
Well, the really great thing is that we think a lot alike. And so all of those aspects are one of the priorities of the governor as well. How we sort it out at the end of the day will be determined, but I would like to see this done quickly so that those schools have those dollars in their general fund to use for the rest of the school year.
How much is it to fully eliminate the English language learner cross subsidy versus the special ed cross subsidy? And do your bills do both, fully eliminate both?
Do you want us to talk to that?
My understanding right now is that the cross-subsidy is around $700 million. That's what's projected for 2022, and the idea is we want to fully fund special education. Our school districts are pulling much-needed funds out of the general fund, and so our intention is to fully fund it.
And ELL?
ELL?
Intention is to fully fund. I don't have the exact number in front of me right now.
Can I follow up on something you said? You said for the rest of the school year, so you have a immediate education plan in mind in addition to whatever the next 2-year budget is? Is that what I'm understanding?
So this bill would provide one-time funding. It is not ongoing, and so it would give relief. It's more of a relief package than anything else.
Something you expect to go out this academic year?
I would hope so. If we can get full agreement, then it would go out this school year. Yep.
So then the regular E12 bill would be separate?
Absolutely. That would be based on the target and the budget. This one is just a standalone.
Could you talk about the urgency? Why kind of a mid-year plan is needed?
Well, last year, we have to remember, there really was no funding that went out to the schools, and the amount of funding in the past decade has been minimal. So our schools are really hurting. We heard from the students how there aren't enough counselors to help them with their issues. The transportation issue is a problem. They aren't able to go on field trips because there isn't funding for those sort of things. Their social and emotional needs are not being met. And what this bill could do was to give some of that temporary relief so that those dollars that are in the general fund could be used for a more robust, well-rounded education for the rest of the year, and also give the school districts a moment of relief so that when we do look at how we are going to fund for the next biennium, at least they know that much is being taken care of. I think it's also an affirmation that we are listening to the teachers, that we are listening to the superintendents, that we are listening to the students, and we are ready and willing to make those efforts as quickly as we can.
Senator Cwodzinski, you said Minnesota ranks like 48th in terms of ratio counselors to students. So how many more counselors do you want? What do we want to go to number 1? Do we want to hit 25? Like, what's the goal?
Mary, no offense taken, by the way. Well, the goal is always number 1, right? That's why we're all frustrated with the Vikings not finishing number 1, and the season wasn't a success because we want to finish number 1. So with that said, I do believe on further thought that maybe we're 40. Anyways, the student to counselor ratio is unacceptable. The hope is 250 to 1 ratio, and right now I think the state average is around 700 to 1 ratio. And so it's just unacceptable. And last spring I went into one of my high schools and I met with the counseling department, and I just talked to them about the kids, and they said they're just hurting, and they had anecdote after anecdote after anecdote, and that suicidal ideations. When I asked one of the counselors about suicidal ideations, his response was, without any hesitation, they're through the roof. And when Senator Kunish introduces a bill with $500 million for supplemental aid to go finish through the rest of this year, let's get that passed so we can get these kids the social workers and the school nurses and the counselors and all that. And I don't like the word support staff because they're not supporting us. They're critical. That staff is critical to the success of our students. And right now, we saw it last week, 33 kids testified, and none of them testified about how great they're doing. They were all frustrated, and it's on us, adults. Let's do what's right for our kids and make them help them get self-actualized, because that's our goal as a species, right? We want our kids to be self-actualized. So how can we get them there? And if getting another counselor in most of our schools, K-12 and whatever it takes, we should be celebrating that. Thank you.
2 more. What is going to be I know you probably won't need Republican votes for some of this stuff, but what will your argument be back when they come up with kind of the Jensen Burke line that public education is a black hole and you're never going to, quote, fully fund education is what they say, because they don't even know what that means. What do you say to those folks?
Well, I would say that we are seeing right now the effects of not well-funding our schools as best as we can, underfunding our schools for too long, and you can't grow something if you don't provide the actual nutrition that you need for those things to grow. And so I think that our Republican counterparts in education finance, actually, they are seeing the same thing in their communities. One of the young ladies that spoke last week came from Senator Lucero's district, and she talked about how the levies and the referendums just don't cover the costs and the inequity of the funding in those schools. So this isn't just a Democrat or Republican, a red or a blue issue. This is an issue across the state. I'm sure they want to see their kids accelerating and excelling. I'm sure they want to see their schools fully funded. And so I'm hoping that at the end of the day, while they might bring up some of the usual pushback, we'll get those supports to help our schools, because it's their children too.
And what are you doing to prevent a cliff so that after this one-time infusion of cash for programs or teachers runs out, there won't be an immediate drop-off?
Well, as I said, we're hoping to have this one-time bit of infusion, but then we are looking at, we're kind of forward-looking and then backing up. So looking at where we want to be in 4 years, and then backing up to like what do we have to put in place? What policy decisions, what finances do we have to put in place? We will continue to work with the governor. We know that he and our lieutenant governor are pro-education, and so without having that initial barrier, we can all sort of breathe a sigh of relief and then look at how we're all going to work together so that we put in place good policy and good funding going forward, where it isn't going to be, a starvation situation once again, but we are just being very stable and systematic in our funding.
The governor has talked about an inflation link on education. I can't imagine there's any resistance there from your parties there.
No, we very much support linking the education funding to inflation.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah, thanks for your time.